Season 9, Ranked on Olympus is here, guys, and I'm here to answer all your questions. What gun should I use? What legend should I use? Where should I rotate? Where should I land? What am I doing here? What am I going to eat later? All those questions and more will be answered in the Season 9 official ranked guide for Olympus. And with that being said, if you guys enjoy other ranked tip videos, ranked live streams, ranked everything, ranked all of it, remember to drop a subscribe. Keep it logged to the channel for everything that we have. And let's dive in to this ranked guide. Let us begin with the gun meta. What guns should I use? That is the question we're answering. So obviously you want to use the guns that are the strongest in the game, but that's obvious. So you want to run the R301, the EVA 8, the Spitfire, the G7, the PK, but specifically on Olympus, you need guns that can be used at medium to long ranges, comfortably for you. With this map being so open, you need to be able to put pressure on teams at longer distances to either keep them off of you, or to get that entry damage, entry knock, or even maybe grief another fight. I found myself recently in the mid-game area holding a building or area that has maybe a wide open field around it, and having a 301 with a bruiser allows me to just keep the teams off of us, get to the late game without being pushed, and keep us safe from the rampant third parties on this map. So yeah, figure out your best long to mid-range gun and make sure to always run it every single time. Know what you want so that you can just loot that much faster. If you have a sniper that you use a lot, maybe try and make sure that you switch it out in that late game so you have more close range guns, because you always want to have two guns that are good at close range late. So that's really what you want to run. You want to run a mid-range gun and longer range weapons on this map because they are a must, because Olympus is so wide open that you have to make sure that you can put pressure on teams at long distances, but you also have to hit your shots. So pick guns that you're comfortable with that fit this map, and you guys will be just fine. Now let's move on to a very important topic that I know a lot of you want to know, is what are the best legends or team comps for Olympus of Season 9. The best legends for this map were covered in an earlier video that I dropped. The thumbnail will appear right here. Go click on it and go watch that video as well. But, you know, with some more experience on this map, let's cover the best teams I've seen work, and let's point out legends that maybe work a little better than expected. So, what I do know about Olympus is that defensive characters are terrible. You do not want to run them on Olympus. You want movement legends and Jibby. So, also, playing center zone, like I mentioned, and I will touch on when we get to playstyles, is very bad. So, with that being said, recon characters that hit beacon, take a little hit there because not a lot of people are honestly playing zone. It's a lot more of an edge-based meta when it comes to playstyles. But I still do think that the best combo of legends is Octane Jibby and a recon character, mainly Valkyrie. This team is very balanced, and it allows you to play to your strengths as a team or however you see fit. And then there's like this whole like cluster of fast-paced squads where it's just like people are just picking the handful legends of Octane, Loba, Bang, and Wraith, and Bloodhound. There's just these combinations of those. Maybe you throw in a Jibby that people are just playing because they want the movement-based legends, and it's just like if someone picks Octane, I'm picking Loba. If someone picks Loba, I'm picking Bang. If someone picks Bang, I'm picking Wraith. Like, it's just these legends because people just want to move. On Olympus, you have to be fast. You finish a fight and you need to start already going, because people will try and third. It's all about getting in and out as fast as possible, so having legends that can get in and out, even Paths with this grapple can get out. So you want to play movement legends for the most part, so there's not really like set comps that are really being run on Olympus. It's more of just like what teams function like a track team and can get in and out and be as fast as possible. So you're just seeing a lot of different hodgepodge of comps, but it's mainly just what legends can keep you safe, get you out of trouble, and can really close the gap on a team, or maybe even get you across that wide open field. So that's really what people are running. There's not really much of a meta other than movement legends and Jibby. So that's really what's going on, which is why, you know, you see Octane, Jibby, Wraith, Bang, Loba. All of those are very good legends to run. I've personally been running Octane and Loba as a solo queuer. So that helps solo queuers. Those are who I'm running. And now let's address the scary, Simulacrum in the corner sharpening his hand spear. People are still running Revenant on Olympus. Why? because I guess they don't feel, confident enough to get killed with other legends in high level lobbies. And if that's controversial to you, feel free to dislike this video. But if you want to be against that, feel free to like the video. But, I will admit, Octane Revenant works in lower skill lobbies. Sure, in gold, plat, silver, you may be able to get away with all this in farm, but once you hit diamond, teams will camp your totem. Teams will not die to your rev push. And more often than not, once a team hears a rev push, usually they will storm to that area, kill the rev team, and that third will usually cause a huge 4+ team fight that just kills everybody in there. So, in higher level lobbies, try not to run Revenant, please, as more often than not, it will do more harm to your team than good, and it's better off to play with other legends where you can take straight up fights and clean up fast than a character that possibly could kill your whole team, guys. That's the best legends. Now let's talk about the map we're playing on. What is the map we're on? We are on Olympus. The Season 9 changes, what were they? The only change to Olympus was the inclusion of the spaceship Icarus in between Bonsai and Solar Array. And how did it change how Olympus is played? Well, honestly, it made that area of the map into a huge third-party, central area. It seems, anytime there is, a fight in those areas, there are 4 to 5 teams in that area, Sure, it added another quality POI with really good loot, and obviously it looks really cool. There's dead scientists, woo! But, it causes a lot of fights to be really close together. And since a lot of people are looting those areas and they're so close and it's easy to, there's so many ways to get in and out, there's a lot of teams that flock to that area. So if you start a fight in this area, in Solar Array, Icarus, even maybe a little bit to the right or to the left, teams are gonna start pulling up, and it's just gonna be chaos. So it's good from a loot perspective, but it also, I think, really destroyed the flow of that side of the map because it just seems like it's a cluster every time. So I really would not recommend anyone to rotate through there unless you're just rotating through there, and I mean rotate, not get into the ship and let's start looting and waste a ton of time. And then, you just sit in the ship. No, you go through the ship, and it's because you're going directly to Bonsai. You're directly getting out of that area. That's the only reason. You just get in, get out. You don't ever want to just be hanging around that area, because if a team does roll up, and you have to take that fight, there will always be a third team just sitting there. So, now let's talk about the other, hot spots. What are the rotations on Olympus, and what are the spots that you probably don't ever want to go through? So, the places I would never start a fight or even really rotate through, other than maybe it's how I just said, really quick through, is the Solar Array, Icarus area, that whole area, and then the Hammond Labs center area, that whole center part of the map. I would always avoid or quickly run through and just try and get through it. I'm going to throw up a graphic here with my highlighted areas of stuff that I really just think you guys should avoid. And if there's any way you can get around that, even if it's taking a little bit of storm damage, I strongly agree that you should do it. So now to the big juicer of the video. What's the juice? What's the juice of the video? The thing that you guys are here for, that's the playstyles. You guys want the playstyle that gets you the max RP in the fastest time. How can I get as much RP as possible? How do I have to play? Well, here it is. On Olympus, you are definitely rewarded for holding the edge of zone. It is not the type of map like maybe Kings Canyon where you can hold center zone and be okay. If you're center zone on Olympus, you probably will be aped by multiple teams, and it will cause usually a chain of events of many fights. And people, for some reason on this map, are just very trigger happy, and with such wide open sidelines, it's easy for a lot of teams to see and hear fight and push, and then you end up center zone, but 6 teams are running at you. So, with that being said, the playstyle that consistently will get you results is the following. Try and take a quick fight early, either contesting off of drop or taking a POI very close to the place and knowing that just one other team landed there, so you know that you can take that 1v1, that 3v3, and get it over with, get that KP. Try and get that fight at the beginning of the game. This will allow you to obviously not get darted. And if you do see another team, or you just can't take this fight, relax. Just stick to the edge of zone and try not to find yourself rotating through many of the center of zone areas. You want to stay on the edge, and this does force you to maybe play a little bit more patient and passive, especially if you can't get those kills early, because the mid game areas where you really don't want to be fighting on Olympus. So try not to force anything unless it's like a quick third party or something like that. Try and wait till the end game round 3+ to start fighting at that point and get a lot of your KP later. Don't ever try and force KP or overextend for maybe one kill, because with how rampant the third partying is, one over enthusiastic teammate that gets knocked can ruin your game, because it's very hard on Olympus to stick a res. It really is. With the sidelines being so open, if someone gets knocked, they're getting finished. So get a few kills early in the match, play it slow, play edge, keep your back covered, try and have the zone to your back, everyone in front, keep teams off of you with the medium and long range weapons, play for the late game, and play for the win, because that's what we play for. We don't play for 5 KP, play for the win. So this play style, while can be maybe a little bit too passive for some people, will consistently get you results, because you will get a little KP at the beginning, you'll survive and get those placement points, and then at the end you rack up the kills that you need left and you'll win the game. That's what we want, right? With that, we wrap up the rank guide, guys. Remember, if you enjoy the video, like and subscribe. Let's get out of here, and I'll see you guys on Olympus. Try not to join the dead scientist.